subjuntivo. Como les dije, el subjuntivo, chicos, vamos a concentrar en este concepto para el resto de noviembre, parte de diciembre, enero y febrero, ¿ok? Mucho subjuntivo. El subjuntivo hoy es lo que les presento con recomendaciones, ¿ok? Y van a ver ejemplos, muchos ejemplos. En clase, perdón, solamente una S. En clase lunes, y también la semana pasada, viernes, concentramos en los mandatos. Estudiantes limpian sus casas frecuentemente. When I say limpian sus casas, what am I saying to do? Clean your houses. Muy directo. That's a command. You know, like, leave me alone. Or give me a piece of paper. Or something like that. Mandatos son directos. They're short, they're sweet, and we just tell somebody to do something. Clean your houses, put away your books, take out your notes, etc. Okay? El subjuntivo, miren, es importante que ustedes limpian sus casas frecuentemente. So at first glance, what's the difference in terms of the context and the meaning? We'll talk about grammar here in a second. But what's the difference in terms of context and meaning between this sentence, which is a command, and this sentence, which is a subjunctive? Don't focus on the grammar, just the context. At first glance,
Because it's important.
it's important that, okay? The subjunctive is suggesting, commands are very direct. That's the fundamental contextual difference between commands and the subjunctive. Commands are like, clean your houses frequently, punto, okay? The subjunctive is so much softer and sweeter.
Is it still a command?
No, it's not so categorized as a command, but
It's a suggestion?
it's a suggestion. It's a recommendation. It's softer. So maybe the first time I'm like, it's important that you keep your houses clean. But then it's like getting annoying because you're not cleaning your houses. Or it's important that you study for your test, but then I'm losing patience because you never study or something like that. I'd be like, listen, just study, okay? I can't tell you in any other way. So the subjunctive is softer. It's a suggestion. It's a recommendation. It's a little like warmer and fuzzier than just being like, boom, do it. However, that's context. Grammatically, what's the difference? Grammatically, verb,
Nada.
nothing, nada. Exactly, gracias. Limpian, limpian. This is why you're going to like it. Because despite the fact that the context is different, despite the fact that we just learned these commands, despite the fact that we're just now trying to memorize this, go to the yo, drop the yo, change it to the opposite of what we know, you're going to be doing these conjugations for 3 months. Spanish 202, salud. The first 2 chapters of Spanish 202 is go to the yo, drop the yo, change it to the opposite of what you know. Okay? Why? Because this concept of the subjunctive has lots of different uses, and we're going to learn them all. Back to the context though, notice we have es importante and then that connector que. Remember at the beginning of the semester when we learned about like que, cual, quien, quienes, and these connector words? In this case, que is a connector. And so the subjunctive also needs what's called an independent clause, es importante. We're not doing anything weird with the verb es. This is what we've been seeing since Spanish 101. Es importante, es necesario, es buena idea, es mala idea, es. That's just normal conjugation, okay? That's called the indicative, but it's the verb after the que. And you need to know that for the super sci and the final exam and our last chapter test. You're only going to the yo, dropping the yo, changing it to the opposite of what you know after the que, okay? And we're going to talk more about these here in a second. Más ejemplos. So going back to ropa sucia y el verbo ensuciar. En clase viernes les presenté no ensucien su ropa cuando comen. And what was I telling you there? Not to what? Don't get your clothes dirty when you eat. El subjuntivo es diferente. Miren. Profeceta le recomienda que, that should be lace. If it's lay on your paper, change it to lace. Les recomienda que ustedes no ensucien su ropa cuando comen. Gramaticalmente, mandato ensucian. Subjuntivo ensucian. We went to the yo, dropped the yo, and changed it to the opposite of what we know. But in terms of meaning, don't get your clothes dirty. And the subjunctive here is saying what? Profeceta what? Recommends that who? Yeah, y'all don't get your clothes dirty when you eat, which is why I had to change the lay to lace. Lace recomienda. On the supersite, I guarantee you're going to have, so before I get to that, first of all, ustedes is our new subject. I'm recommending, and now I'm connecting with K, introducing a new subject that determines the verb conjugation of ensucian. Okay? So that's important to know. Profeceta is not the subject of getting clothes dirty. Y'all are, first of all. Second of all, on the supersite, I guarantee you'll have some fill in the blanks or complete the sentences, activities, where after the K, you're not so sure. It doesn't say nosotros, or it doesn't say like Juan y Marcos. And you're like, well, I don't know what form to put this verb in. Look and see if there's a pronoun in the previous section of the sentence before the K. Because if it says te recomiendo, you'll put your subsequent verb in what form? If it says te recomiendo, you would conjugate your verb to form. Yeah. So the pronoun is helpful with some verbs. Okay, otro ejemplo. Ustedes acuéstense temprano durante la semana. So this is what we were talking about on Friday and Monday. Acuéstense temprano is saying what? Go to bed early. Directo, mandato. Okay? Go to bed. That's a command. The subjunctive, however, what's different? Es necesario. It's necessary that y'all go to bed early during the week. And notice, se acuestan, when it's a subjunctive form, we don't put the pronoun on the end. So you're only attaching the pronoun on the end of the verb when it's an affirmative command, okay? That's the only time, if it's reflexive and you happen to use a pronoun. But generally speaking, we just go back to what we've been doing all along with pronouns and putting them where in relationship to the conjugated verb? Before it, okay? So with the subjunctive, we don't have to worry about this accent mark stuff and we're doing in class on Monday. Okay, so to summarize, formal commands or mandatos are very direct. Do this, do that, okay? The subjunctive is much softer. Es importante, les sugiero, les recomiendo, etc. So why are we spending basically 3 chapters, 3 months on something that really isn't too complicated? Because from this point forward until February, we are going to be learning different phrases that introduce the subjunctive. This is where it gets tricky. Do I or do I not use the subjunctive? That's why we're spending 3 months on it. Because as you can see, K, 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 K is present in all the examples. K is just a connector. But K isn't why we use the subjunctive. If it was that simple, we would spend like a day on this concept. But it's what comes before the K. The phrase is, es bueno means what? Yeah, it's good. But es mejor is better. Es malo, it's bad. And then we have importante y necesaria, which we already reviewed. And then es urgente, it's urgent. What do all these phrases have in common? Es plus what? before the K. An adjective, right. These are impersonal expressions because we're just saying it is plus the adjective. If it's sad that, it's subjunctive. If it's fundamental, if it's, a really good idea, any of that's going to introduce the subjunctive as an impersonal expression.
All of those are.
All of these introduce, the next verb is going to be in the subjunctive. So the next verb, go to the O, drop the O, change into the opposite of what we know. So after the K, and then I'll answer your question, you need a new subject. So ustedes, or tú, or Pablo, or Octavio, there's going to be a new subject after the K, because the K connects a subject and conjugated verb with another subject and conjugated verb. See?
It's gonna be a bad example. But
That's okay.
So like when you were saying like it's sad that somebody died.
Yes,
Okay, that's.
which you will say.
Yeah.
People say this in Spanish. I mean, you do express condolences,
That's
and you
us.
would use a subjunctive.
Okay.
Like, es triste que tu gato. Well, that's past tense, past subjunctive. We'll learn that in 202, but muriera. So you don't go to the O and drop the O. Change the opposite of what you know. Or it's sad that you can't go to the party. Es triste que no puedas venir a la fiesta. Okay, and then we have other phrases. So we have those impersonal expressions, and then we have these expressions that are all doing what? Suggestions, right, recommendations, okay? Do you have to memorize in English what each of these recommendations mean? No, don't do that. You can if you want, but you don't have to. But should you recognize, wait a second, I think that phrase is expressing a recommendation, yes. Okay, so do you need to know the literal translation? No. But do you need to recognize that it's a phrase that introduces a subjunctive because it's a recommendation? Yes. However, I'm going to review these really quickly. What are some obvious ones in terms of what they mean? Recomienda, right? Profecito recommends that y'all. Now notice after these Ks I do have ustedes. So recomienda means recommends. 1 M. No, not double M's in Spanish. 1 M. Any other ones that are obvious, more obvious than others? Prohíbe, right? She prohibits that, y'all. Prohíbe, we've seen that before too. ¿Qué más? Importa. It's important that, or it's important to her that, y'all. What else? Repiten? Yeah, manda. It's like a mandato, mandatory. Exactly. It's kind of like demands. Anything else that you could guess? Insiste probably means what? Insists. Anything else that you could probably figure it out has to do with a recommendation? Pide. ¿Cómo se dice pide? Asks. Yeah, asks, like not asking softly, like telling asks. Like, I'm asking you to do that, for example. It's a little more strict. Anything else? What about sugiere? What's a synonym for recommends? Suggests. Exactly. Suggests. And the least obvious are aconseja, but when I tell you what this means, you'll be like, oh, okay. Advises. Aconseja is like, think of like a counselor, aconseja, advice, Okay, and then the last one, I'm going to tell a story, and that might help you remember ruega. Not forever, but it might help a little bit. Ruega means begs, which seems a little dramatic. But they can be pretty dramatic and passionate in Spanish. And I saw this a lot in Spain, ruega. Like, instead of saying like it's prohibited, there would be signs that says, se ruega no fumar. Like, we're begging you don't smoke. That's what ruega means. It's so extreme. But it means to beg, which we don't use much in English, but they use more in Spanish because they're a little bit more dramatic. Okay, so you won't have this on the final exam or the test or anything, but it's really just the first time I'm presenting this. So let's decide. Thumbs up, mandato. thumbs down, subjuntivo. Just see if you can recognize. Mandato or subjuntivo? So you're trying to figure out, is it really direct or is there a recommendation? Is it soft? So, mandato, thumbs up, thumbs down, subjuntivo. Y es un mandato. Excelente. ¿Por qué? Directo. Miguel, haga la cama. Ok? Muy directo. Mandato o subjuntivo. También directo. Paco, juegue tenis mañana. Muy directo, mandato. Ok? Número 3. Mandato o subjuntivo. Muy bien. Excelente. Es más suave, ¿no? Es mejor que. Y después, go to the O, drop the O. Change it to the opposite of what we know. So what's it saying? It's better that he sweeps the floor. Después de dar una fiesta. Es más suave. Mandato o subjuntivo. Otra vez, directo, mandato. Vaya a la biblioteca. Vaya hacia eso. Mandato o subjuntivo. Le ruega que. Sí, subjuntivo, ¿no? Más suave. Ok, ahora, más difícil. 3 opciones, and I usually have little papers to hand out. So we'll do thumbs up, thumbs down, and then in the middle will be infinitivo. Okay? Mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo. 3 opciones. Ok, muy bien, excelente. Insiste que la clase ponga la mesa. No? So, muy suave. Insist, and then go to the O. Drop the O. We have the connector, and then our new subject. This is our second subject. La clase, this is what determines the conjugation of poner. Insiste comes from insistir. We didn't go to the O with that one. Mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo. Sacude los muebles. Mandato. Muy bien. Directo. No, muy directo. What am I saying? Sacude los muebles?
Sweep the furniture.
Yeah, dust the furniture. Yeah, muy directo. Okay, chicos. Mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo. ¿Cuál es? Okay, muy bien. Infinitivo. ¿Por qué? Es bueno ver. So how is this different from the subjunctive? The subjunctive, we have to have what? It's really similar to the subjunctive. We know it's not a command because it's not like direct.
The connector, and also you don't
We
have
we don't have the connector K. It's not es bueno K. It's es bueno what? Ver. That's where the infinitive comes in. And why would we use that over the connector K in introducing a new subject? So commands are used to be very direct, straight to the point. Subjunctive's a little softer. So then,
general.
this is so general. I'm not talking to anyone specific. It's not like Emilia came to my office hours and I'm like, Emilia, es bueno que tú veas los PowerPoints and notes. I'm not specific to Amelia. It's just in general. It's like a first day of class, syllabus day, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. This is what you need to do to be successful in Spanish class. And this is saying what? It is good to look at, right, or to watch. So ver, infinitives is like really general, not specific. Subjunctive is very specific, and commands are just direct. See?
There will always be a K subjunctive.
With the subjunctive, for the rest of the semester, there will always be a K. That changes like in February.
Okay.
So, for a long time, yes. Okay, chicos, mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo. Te recomiendo. Excelente subjuntivo. ¿Por qué? So there's a recommendation. What else? We have a connector K. And also, it's very what? This is what I was just talking about. So it's really specific, right? I'm not saying in general to eat lunch every day. I'm telling who? You. But I'm not like telling you to do it like a command. I'm still recommending. It's just specific to you. And this is an example of what I was talking about earlier on the supersite. You look after the K and you're like, what's the subject? I don't know how to conjugate this verb. But the pronoun before the conjugated verb in the phrase before the K, one question for you. Okay, mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo? Excelente, subjuntivo, ¿por qué? We have es malo, our impersonal expression connected with K. We have a new subject, and our verb is conjugate. Go to the O, drop the O, change it to the opposite of what we know. I could tell her not to litter, but I'm talking about her behind her back, first of all, so I'm not talking to her directly. So the context is different. Why wouldn't I use just es malo dejar basura? Why wouldn't I just say it's bad to litter? Because I'm talking smack about Sylvia. She's like this litter bug, and it's so annoying. Okay? And then, número 6. Mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo? Mandato, subjuntivo, or infinitivo? Infinitivo, chicos. Excelente. ¿Por qué? It's just general. It's like, it's good. But I'm not telling anybody to do it, and I'm not directly telling y'all to do it. Okay, so just to reiterate, because this is what you're going to have to do on the next test. You're going to have to decide. I'm going to give you a sentence with a verb, and based on the context of the sentence, you're either going to leave the verb alone in its infinitive form, or you're going to conjugate it as a command, or you're going to conjugate it in the subjunctive, which is the same as the command in terms of grammar, but the use is different. So infinitives, first of all, there's no K. We're not connecting anything. So the subjunctive would be te recomiendo K. But I'm just saying in general, I recommend eating lunch every day. I recommend eating breakfast every day. But let's say like you never eat breakfast before class and you're always hungry in class, I might say, es necesario que tú desayunes antes de clase, for example. And then we also use infinitives when we don't have a specific subject, okay? So that's the review with infinitives.